Thank you for joining us. Today's guest is Darya, a woman who needs no introduction. Thank you for joining us, Darya.
Actually, it's funny you just said that because I wrote Mel for this podcast and you gave me no introduction. I said, whatever, I don't want you to say anything. And I wrote here because I need to meet with Mel for this podcast. And I said, nothing new by nobody special. That's what we're going to talk about today.
Sounds great.
Does that sound good?
Sounds wonderful.
You decide.
I like to start with 67 seconds fire round of questions, yes or no. Interview with notes or improvised?
Oh, nothing, ever. Zero notes.
What color would you use to paint a portrait of yourself?
Pink, white, maybe baby blue.
Guilty pleasure?
Thank you for the chocolate. You knew.
What will people be surprised to learn about you?
I feel like I'm an open book, so whatever. I don't know. I guess I don't know what people think of me in the first place, so.
Biggest achievement?
Achievement. My own evolution. I'm not done yet, by the way. Yes.
Anybody, alive or not, would you like to have a drink with?
I don't typically drink, but so many people. I mean, so many people. I'd like to have George Carlin back in the seat and chat with him, but he's passed. And I would love to talk to Wayne Dyer, but he's passed. But there's still my huge inspiration alive. Oprah.
Wonderful.
Oprah. So, yeah.
If not here, where would you like to live?
If not here, in a cloud would be nice.
Favorite sound?
I love that. I love that sound.
Best gift received?
Love.
Describe yourself in 3 words.
Oh, I can't do that. Oh, that's 4.
All right, that was our quick round. Now we're on to questions where you can answer as long as short as you would like.
Okay, great.
We like to start from the very beginning.
I was a small child. Are we going back that far?
We are going, probably, yeah.
Really? Oh, Mel, come on, seriously?
What did you learn from Sylvia Malnikov?
Whoa, Silvio Malnikov. Would it be pronounced Malnikov, you think, probably,
Yeah.
originally? Yeah. I don't know if you had the opportunity to see my obit to my mom on TV. Did you?
I did.
Did you?
I did.
Yeah, I wrote that. I just woke up in the middle of the night and put it on my phone. I didn't know I didn't know I was going to do anything. That's what often happens to me, is I don't know that I want to say something, nor what it is. And usually at that magic hour of 3 a.m., it's been forever, which used to be my wake up time. I woke up like that and I just suddenly started typing and that came out, which I'm so glad that I'm so happy that there's a record of that, you know?
It's very powerful.
Yeah, because I only realized what she gave me, Sylvia Malnikov, if you don't know, is my mom. If you're not a regular viewer like Mel was. I only realized what she gave me, you know, it took time. I didn't realize what she was giving me when she was a mom, not raising me, right? Like working on herself, doing her women's liber stuff, right? You know, going back to college, trying to be a pilot, you know, because she was a 50s housewife, you know, she never had done it. So by the time she got to me and my sister raising us, she was done raising kids because the brother's almost 10 years older. She raised them, you know, the Leave It to Beaver way. So in real time, I was like, okay, my mom's given me nothing, right? She's not baking cookies or even making dinner. And I think that that's some of what I didn't know what she was giving me in real time, that I learned what she was giving me later. So if you look back and go, wait, she didn't send you to school?
Till 5th grade or 6th.
Right, till 5th grade. And people say, oh, you're homeschooled. I'm like, no.
Very unconventional.
No, I was not
unconventional then,
homeschooled.
at that
Right. We just played and went to this weird place that let us do art or
time. You
whatever.
turn out great.
Well, but I did look back at all of those things, including her leaving me and my sister when my sister was 13. I had just turned 16 and got my license, and my mom left us, including that. And in real time, I wasn't understanding the gift of any of it, or the example of any of it, or how that was for my evolution. And then later, like Steve Jobs says, and I love this, and I've used this ever since he said it, you can only connect the dots looking back, and then move forward with trust into the unknown and know that it's happening for you. And so when I started to become evolved enough to start looking back and connecting the dots to how I got to today, I realized all she had given me, and that all contributed to who I am and how I see the world, and how I know, Mel, you said your big thing is creating sort of compassion and empathy and people learning from each other's stories. And like what you went through benefits my unfolding, because when I hear it and when you share it, I take it on, because we're like mirrors, and that's how we grow. So I don't have to have been through exactly what you were through. But when you share it with me, I know I haven't gone through it still, but it's as if I have, because you're sharing it with me, all of it. Right.
That's the difference between empathy and sympathy.
And yeah, and I feel it. And so I was able to connect those dots, and I learned so much from her, that I couldn't even begin to, it's a way of being. It's a way that she went through the world as a seeker, with a curiosity. She was so curious. And when I look back, and I was a kid, and she was, our bedrooms are on the top floor, and underneath she would have these assertiveness training groups, and this was back in the day when women were learning to speak up, and, and I'm hearing this co-counseling, it was called. And then the room is vibrating because people are doing budgeons. Budgeons are like these chants. And I was like, oh, I hate this. The floor is vibrating. Can you believe this? You asked me 2 minutes ago, what's my favorite sound, Mel? And I effing just said, And when I was a kid, that sound, I wanted to kill someone. And the floor is vibrating. And I was like, make it stop. And here I am to this day now, telling you that's one of my favorite. That's my.
Glad you evolved.
Isn't that
What can I
weird?
tell you?
Is that weird?
No, it's not. It
Kind of
makes sense.
Does it?
To me, it does.
Does it?
Would you share Mom's favorite story about the Minnesota couple?
Oh God, she loved my mom. So
I laughed so hard when I read it.
Actually, okay. I'll share that, but there's something that I laugh more at daily, that my mom, this is a mom story. One little exchange at a table like this in Rota Goldman Plaza, which is where she spent the last couple of years of her life in San Francisco. And we talked a lot about death. I'll share it with you first, because we talked a lot about death because she was getting older and everybody there is getting older. And that's when they had openings to live there. So when somebody died, they moved out, moves in, right? They moved out, and there's a list, and you would wait. And my mom got right in, which meant somebody got right out. So anyway, she moved in, and I guess I'm very curious, just like she is. And so we're talking about death, and I said, I would say things like, well, what do you think it is? I remember this day. I was like, Mom, why do you think people don't talk about it? Like, why do you think people are afraid of it? Is it that they're afraid of it? Is that dying? Like, everybody isn't talking about it, maybe like we are. And she gave a thoughtful look for 10 seconds. I said, what is it about dying? Is it that you want to hang on or whatever? She gave a thoughtful look, and then she said, I don't know. I've never done this before.
That's a way to
And
look
she
at it.
meant it.
That's a great
And
way to look at it. Because it is scary.
She's going, I've never done this before. And the motto of my life is, I've never done this before. And my daughter just reflected back to me. This is so weird. I wrote my daughter a text message saying, you know, I'm sorry for, I guess, any disappointments or not giving you what you needed or being as undeveloped as I was when you were a kid. And I have to forgive myself and hope you forgive me. And my daughter said, this is so funny. My daughter said, well, she texted me back and she said, well, you know, this is your first time, just like my first time being a person. Oh. She was like, and we've never done this before.
Your daughter's so young.
It was really, I was like, holy shit.
She rolled in much younger.
What the heck? She's 20 something. How did she figure that out? So anyway, that story.
What a blessing.
And then the other story of my mom at the table once again. And we're planning, you know, when she dies, say if, not if, when she dies, you know, hey, who would you want to do the ceremony? Who do you want to speak? Stuff like this we talk about. And she said, we have 4 kids. My brother Mark is the oldest. And she said, well, I want people to laugh. So I want Mark to speak because he's very funny. I said, yeah, okay. And she said, and I want the hot rabbi because there was a rabbi that was like really good looking. She said, I really think he's cute. She said, I want the hot rabbi. So fast forward to after she died, I said, Mom, we got the hot rabbi. Bring him on up. And he came up and spoke. And then she said, I said, well, do you want to be cremated or buried? You know? And she said, again, she thought for 10 seconds and she goes, surprise me.
I wish I'd met her.
She's like, but she didn't mean it. She does. That was the beauty. She was so funny and so insightful, but she didn't mean any of it. She's an accidental comedian. So at the service, once again, I said, so my mom said, surprise me. I said, so surprise, we cremated you, which apparently is not what you're supposed to do as a Jew, but she wasn't that strict. And so then the other story about the Minnesota couple, that's a well-known story online, that I heard from one of my gurus that I follow now, which I told you, Wayne Dyer, and he was my first kind of avenue of evolution and learning myself. And Tara Brach is another big one. And she quoted this story, and that's how I found the story. And it's something like a couple, they've been married like 30 years, 40 years at least. And they live in Minnesota. And they were going to go back to have like a honeymoon weekend in Florida, nice, warm, sunny place, which is where they spent their, you know, anniversary years and years and years before. And so, the guy, the husband was leaving first and the wife was going to join him later. And this was back before, you know, like your early 80s or whatever. There started to be computers like in the room. Remember when you stayed at a hotel and there was a computer room, like an office? And when he went to the hotel before she did, she was coming a little later, he walked in and he was like, oh, they have a computer in the room. This is amazing, which is pretty cool, you know. So he, of course, sat down and wrote a note immediately to his wife, and he sent it off to her, because he was so excited that he could, you know, give her an email. So he sent that off and he was waiting. The wife was going to come 3 days later. And on that very afternoon that he hit send on that email, on the same afternoon, there was a woman in Texas, a preacher's wife, and he had died. And so she had gone to the funeral and she just got back from the funeral, and she was, after this guy in Minnesota and Miami is sending the email to his wife, she's opening up her coming back from the ceremony of the death of her husband, the preacher who everyone loved. And she came into their study to look at the emails, and there were lots of emails from well-wishers, and her family is still out in the main lobby, area of her home. And she's reading, and there's all kinds of subject lines, and I forget, what did the subject line say? What did the subject line? Do you remember?
Arrived.
So, yeah. I have arrived. I think. Yeah. I have arrived. So she gets this subject line that says, I have arrived. And it says, my dearest. And, so she's reading it, and it says, and it turns out this is the note that the man had sent his wife, but he was off by one letter. So the email came to her. So she's reading it, not knowing what it is. And it says, my dearest, I have arrived. It's beautiful here. Just as you can imagine. Everybody is, something like everyone is awaiting your arrival. Things are getting, everything is getting arranged for your arrival soon. For your arrival soon. And then it says, love your loving husband. P.S. It's hot down here. And the preacher's wife, just went, and boom, a collapse on the floor. Her family runs in, her son runs in, sees her on the floor. It's like, what has happened to my mom? Opens up the computer, sees that she has just read this, and she thought it was her husband from God, from heaven. So it was just, it was very funny. My mom loved that. She loved it. P.S. It's hot down here.
It's hot down here.
Yeah, that's the kind of experiences that I had with my mom were very, very, very unconventional because of her.
Did you inherit any traits of your mom? Like her sense of humor?
I inherited a ton of traits from my mom and my dad. Not my dad, not to be undervalued. I mean, they're equally as impactful, even though, like I said, they got divorced, and he was only an every other Sunday dad. And then thanks to the fact that she ran away from home, as I called it, my sister and I otherwise wouldn't have known him as a dad who lived with us and that kind of thing. So when my mom left, it was a surprise because we thought she was just going on a vacation like she did with her boyfriend. I had driven her to the airport because I just got my license.
You drove her?
Yeah. So I drove her to the airport because she was teaching. Well, she drove the car because she was teaching me. I didn't know how to drive a stick shift yet. So it was a little MG. So she drove to the airport, and then I had to switch seats, and she said bye-bye. But I hadn't had lessons enough on the car yet. And she gave me the best advice ever, which was, when in doubt, put your foot on the clutch. So then away I went. So I went home. It was fine. I got home. So I didn't know, neither did she, I believe, that she would never come back. So it was maybe, I think 3 or 4 weeks later that she called, and it was around Christmas time that she called on the phone, told me her boyfriend, Stan, we're not coming back. We're moving to Israel. Mm. And I was like, what? Like, you can't leave your kids until we're 18, and I'm not 18.
It's devastating to hear that.
Well,
age 16, no?
I was pretty pissed off.
Put it mildly.
And I was not a mild child, if you can imagine. So when I was pissed off, I mean, I was swearing. I was like, Merry effing Christmas. That's why I remember as a Jew that it was Christmas time, because I was like, are you kidding me? Yeah, no, we're not going to Israel, and you can't just leave.
How long did she?
Well,
when
she
did
just
she come back.
She didn't. She just disappeared. So,
like, for how?
Oh gosh,
a year?
No, years. We didn't know where she was or what she just disappeared. That was 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I think I was 21 and 21. I was 20, so 5 years. I was 21 when we rediscovered where she was. And so that whole time, though, I finished high school. I got to experience my dad, which I would never have been able to do as a real person, which, you know, he was, I told you, a CPA, not
stability,
not how I think. Oh, stability. Oh my God.
predictability, and stability,
And
which is great when
just love and safety and just, and that's the one thing. I mean, I feel so blessed that they gave me, both of them, unconditional love. I was never, ever, ever. I mean, you can talk about how I said she didn't raise me, right? They didn't. But you know what? I was never, ever, ever, ever given a message that I couldn't do anything in the world. I mean, what a freaking gift is that? I was never, the thought never occurred.
Good enough for this or that.
Right. The thought never occurred to me, as it does in so many kids, because of just luck or karma or what, you know, like, where are you born? Who are your parents? I mean, a kid, they don't know anything that's not instilled in them as they're a kid. And it was never instilled in me any sign of, you're no good, you're not enough, you can't do something, you have no value. I mean, Jesus, those 4 things alone were never instilled in me. All that was instilled in me was, we love you, you can do anything, we'll support you in doing anything, and there are no limits to who you can be. I mean, what? If any and every kid got that message, that makes a whole difference in your life.
But I'm sure it took many years to come to this forgiveness and realization of that, probably. No?
Took many years to come. Well, no, because being a journalist, Mel, I was 5 years old. I remember watching TV, seeing Phil Donahue. He would go like this, and then he'd run through the audience and ask questions. I remember going, I'm that. That's what I am. And I would play with my sister with a microphone. And who am I to do that? You see what I mean? It never occurred to me that I couldn't or wouldn't. I didn't know anybody on TV, or I didn't know anything about it. I'm 5. And I'd go, oh yeah, this is what I'm doing. What? And from that day on, I knew I was doing that.
That's incredible.
So yeah, that's in real time. I was getting those. I think kids get messages in real time, whether they realize it or not. They then act that out and become what they think they can become. And a kid only thinks what they can become because they were somehow told what they could become at that age. You don't, you know. Anyway,
Close the subject. Were you a different mom because of that experience?
Well, it's funny you say that,
or
too.
Do you think you will be a different mom? Have you not experienced that when you were 16 with your children?
This is the crazy thing. So it's funny you asked that. And it's funny that you just said, I don't know if you're allowed to share with me. I asked about your mom. And if you asked me what kind of parent I was, given what my mom was, what my experience of being a mom was I the same or different? And I asked you,
how did it affect you?
What about you? But what about you? And you said, which I would have said, Mel, and I've said it, I had said it for years. You said, I'm a different mom than my mom was to me. Okay, right? Your mom was a control freak.
Yeah.
You are different.
Yeah.
You consider that better?
Different. Relationship with my kids, I think so.
Okay. But the mothering, do you consider yourself a better or worse mother? You said you're different.
Just different.
So that's cool. Okay. It took me a
You do
long...
the best in the circumstances, I understand.
But it took me a while to say that. I did measure myself. When I became a mom, I whether I was consciously or unconsciously, and both, said to myself, I'm going to be a better mom than she was. Because I judged her, right? Because I thought I hadn't gelled yet what she did for me. I was just like, well, that was a bad mom. She didn't do the things a mom's supposed to do. You know, making dinner and holding you and helping you with homework, sending you to school. These are motherly things. Doing your laundry, you're supposed to do these things. Taking care of you, that's not the kind of mom she was. And so I called that, she wasn't a good mom. And till I had kids. And then I was like, okay, now I'm going to measure myself because I'm going to be a good mom. I'm going to do it all. And only later did I ask for her forgiveness. And it was actually the year after she died. So that I believe that they can hear us. And if you don't, then beg to differ. So the apology was good because she heard me. And I had a sudden realization, you can't apologize or be sorry for something if you don't understand or believe that it was, in my eyes, a wrong way of thinking for myself. And I was like, oh, I said, all these years, Mom, she was so sorry that she left us. You know, when we reconnected after that 5 years later, I mean, she had this guilt and shame and we were like, for years, we were like, Mom, we forgive you. All of us. I forgive you. But she didn't forgive herself. And so my epiphany comes, she has died. And I went, oh God, you always wanted us to forgive you, but you never forgave yourself. And now I'm asking you to forgive me. And I didn't realize that I need to give myself forgiveness because I judged you. All those years, I judged you. I judged you as a bad mom. I judged you for leaving. I judged you. And you know what? I used you as the standard, the gold standard that I was going to be above. You see, because I'll know I'm a good mom if I do more, I give what I need. And yes, she didn't give me what I needed as a kid in that time. But later, she did give me what I needed. I don't know that you know what you need, but I realized it later. And so I apologize because I'm sorry for judging you because I said you didn't give me what I need, but that was wrong. You did. You did give me what I needed. And also I was judging you and using you as I'll be better than you. And I'm not effing better. I'm better than nobody. And that's why I said my note said to come talk to you about, you're talking to nobody special about nothing new. You're nodding your head. You know exactly what I'm saying. This is nothing new.
How different were you as a mom?
I was, I don't know. You'd have to ask my kids. You'd have to, no,
okay.
No. You'd have to ask my kids.
Next segment, we'll do Darya and the kids.
Sorry, yes. Call my kids. I can't effing tell you. Okay. Just call my kids. I did the best I could. I'm sure, I will tell you one thing. My daughter said, I'm sorry, if I wasn't the best, but I didn't know a lot of things. And she said, when she said, this is the first time being a person for both of us. And she said, you did the best that you knew how. And let me tell you, it was good. Meaning, she said, you gave me what I needed. And you don't need, I don't know, I have nothing to forgive, but I'll forgive you if that's what you need. I mean, both of my kids are amazing. And, I've learned a lot from them. Forget the parents. I've also learned a F ton from the kids. Not to clean up my language, but I did for you a little bit.
I believe all the kids might need therapy sessions, some less, some more. So my kids told me they won't need as many as I did.
Oh, okay.
So that's a great compliment, I think.
Yeah. Good one. Mel, I love good measure. Do your kids need less therapy? Everybody needs therapy, but do they need less than you need? I love that. I love that.
It's kind of fucked up, but it's kind of a measure of
I love that.
Something, how you develop.
I love that. Okay, then yes, then I'm good.
Okay.
I know. Yes.
Do you still have the tapes of the interview of your little sister when you were 5?
No, I don't.
That's incredible.
I remember them so clear. I mean, I was interviewing her. Where's the fire? I would say, but she was 3. I'm 5.
It's not like you want to be a teacher, a ballerina, or a firefighter.
No.
You want to be a TV personality.
Yeah. And I asked her, and who are you running for? Who do you want, Ford or Carter in the presidential race? And she's 3, so she's just playing around, yelling things. Ford, Carter, she's yelling things. And I'm like, you suck. Like, meaning, I'll answer for you. I would answer everything for her. Oh my God.
And that's your first coverage of presidential.
That's my first.
presidential election.
That was my first presidential election coverage, provided to you by Reel-to-Reel Recorder.
That is.
I love that.
That's incredible.
That was my first, my first election ever.
That should be a Guinness record. 5-year-old president.
That's God dang. Too bad we don't have that. Yeah. Yeah. By the way, I think that Carter won that one.
Yeah. It was
Jimmy
Carter. Do you have any role models in TV journalism?
I told you Oprah, and Oprah again. Holy God. I mean, not only was Oprah my role model when I started, to spawn my career all the way through my career, but now with her evolution, she continues to be my role model because her evolution, I'm a little behind her, right? I'm quite behind her. But like, I've seen her evolution and she's devoted now 24/7 to spiritual awakening and evolution and transformation. And that's what I'm devoted to now. So I'm quite behind her because when she left her talk show, which still incorporated that, but now she's devoted to just that. And my great spiritual followers and gurus and whether they be psychologists or therapists or authors or just people who have been through amazing things, which we all have, everybody I've ever met, right? I hear about how they transcended or transformed in a situation and how they got past that. And I take that on as a mirror. We're all mirrors. I've learned so much of that from everything she's done in her past, I don't know, maybe 10 years with her Oprah TV and her podcast, Super Soul Sunday, and everyone, Eckhart Tolle, she introduced me to, so many great people that she introduced me to. Michael Singer. I mean, I could go on. Just so many incredibly Wiesel. So anyway.
What is in her style is there style or just the sheer magnitude and the scale at what she did and how she influenced?
No, those are achievements. Having a talk show and doing a good interview and then getting to own your own network and those are achievements. No, it's, first of all, her style is her style. I used to say, well, why am I even doing this when it could be done better by Dan Harris? I don't know if you know the 10% Happier podcast.
Yes.
Are you kidding me? Effing his freaking vocabulary. I mean, it makes me look like oh my God, it makes me look like I didn't go to school. Which I didn't. So, right? His, not only his actual vocabulary, but his spiritual vocabulary and knowledge is insane, as is Oprah's. They are both so beyond my comprehension and knowledge and retention and ability to speak and translate their feelings and thoughts and all of this, okay? That if I had to rise to their level, which I've thought of before, like going, oh my God, who am I? I'm just going to give up right now because I can't possibly be as good as they are. And then I heard a great quote from another podcaster, and he was like, let's say his idol was, I don't know, Ram Dass, God, my God, he was a Harvard professor and freaking, guru. Oprah's already taken. Oprah's already taken. Somebody's already Oprah, and it's Oprah. So all I can do is be me. And that has to be good enough. And good enough is a state of mind. When you think you're good enough, you are. It's just a fact. Literally just like that. When you think you're good enough, you are. And I have come to a place where I think I'm good enough, even though I am not Oprah or Dan Harris or Ram Dass or Wayne Dyer or Eckhart Tolle or any of these people that I follow. Thich Nhat Hanh. I'm nobody. I am just like them, actually. I'm nobody. I'm no fucking body.
If Thich Nhat Hanh will be sitting at this table, he will say the same thing.
I'm
the vessel that.
And also, I'm nobody, meaning
Wayne Dyer. Their lack of ego, I believe. All these names that you mentioned, the lack of superficial ego.
I
You
think
got to have ego to achieve something.
you do. And
I
so,
think it's important.
okay.
But there's superficial ego of how many,
But it's to be in the world. You do. I mean, and I think Ram Dass says it best in that. I spent the first half of my life or more trying to become somebody, right? That's what the ego does. I want to be somebody. I want to be on the news and then be a reporter. And I moved 10 times and then I get to San Francisco and boy, have I made it. I'm somebody. Look at me. Listen to me. I'm doing the news and I'm telling you important stuff because I know and I'm right and I got the facts and you need to listen to me. I'm somebody. You need to treat me a certain way because I'm somebody. And then I spend the rest of my life becoming nobody because that's the goal, is to become nobody, to realize that wisdom says that I'm nobody and love says that I'm everybody and everything. So that's what makes me special, is love. Not that I'm somebody, just that I'm love.
That's why we introduced you as Darya, to learn more about you. Back to a little bit of history.
Oh my God, okay, I'm ready.
University of Kansas.
I missed history.
Did it teach you the profession, or you had to learn as your career grew on the job?
Well, as it turned out, I mean, KU was an amazing education. I chose that school coming from Connecticut because all the Connecticut kids went to Kansas. I'm kidding. I was like, what? A Connecticut Jew in Kansas? That didn't happen. I was the minority in Kansas. I was the minority. I was like, where is everybody? There's nobody here but me that is different, right? Yeah, I was like, so I ended up living in the international dorm because I was like, I just had this, I just wanted to be of the world. And when I went to Kansas, I was like, it felt, like I said, I felt like the minority. And I wanted to be amongst different backgrounds and I just have always sought that out. And maybe that is like seeped into me from my mom going to India and getting a guru and doing all that weird shit. I don't know, because I'm in friggin' suburban Connecticut. Where does that come from? Why? Oh, I'm exotic now? I'm exotic?
People don't know where Kansas is, probably over there.
So anyway, but as far as the education, while I did feel very, I don't know, I just did not feel all the colors of the rainbow there. And so I went I went to the arts dorm, even though I wasn't an arts major, which is kind of where all the theater people were. So I was like, okay, these are my people. So I went to I guess I went to that dorm. And then I moved into the international dorm, which was, why am I there? It's all people from all around the world are there. So they called that dorm the UN. I did not get what I wanted spiritually from there, but man, I got a good education. And it was very laser focused on broadcast journalism, which a lot of schools that I wanted to go to or that were highly esteemed, they only had like English. They didn't have, or print journalism, and it's a different animal. So I really was able to, I soaked it up. And we did broadcast, TV cameras like this, microphones. As Cubs, we were cutting resume tapes and out covering stories. And I walked out of there with a tape and I was getting a job on that tape, that VHS tape that I sent around. And that's when I got 10 jobs in 10 states in maybe 14 years, moving up, becoming a reporter and a producer and doing everything for myself. And then a reporter anchor and then to here. So it was an incredible learning experience. Right from the ground running. It was a great school.
What is the main quality for TV journalist, that you think?
You're so effing good at this. I'll tell you, that's a good quality. No, you. Because while I told you my style, you said, what do you love about Oprah? It's just her being her. So what's it take to be a great journalist? Curiosity. I've changed my tune from, oh, really? You didn't graduate in journalism? Oh, let me show you. Let me see how you write. Oh, that's terrible broadcast style. You have bury the lead. The lead is in the tag. You need to move that up. You're not speaking English. You're talking like a newspaper. So I used to be very judgy about the writing. And then I realized anybody can be a great journalist. It takes curiosity, which involves listening. And you can prepare. That's your style, right? My style is not to. But what I like about why I'm saying you could be a great journalist, or you are a great journalist, is because yes, you have all these notes and you've thought about stuff, which is great. That's curiosity and thinking. And then you take the conversation where it leads you. How can you possibly do that until you listen to the answer? And a new question is born. You can't provide. I used to hate when people would say, provide me a list of the questions you're going to ask this NASA astronaut. I'd be like, I don't know. I haven't met them yet. I can tell you maybe what I might ask first, and then we'll see. But if you have a list of questions and we just go through them, why don't you just email it to me, Mel, and I can write them. What the heck? Or Google it. I can tell, ask me what years I went to college. Just Google that shit. You got a real human here. And that's what you're doing. It's so amazing.
Did you have a lot of requests like that?
Did I have a lot of
requests
for questions? Sometimes. And they would be maybe frustrated or annoyed that I was like, I'm sorry, I really have no effing idea what I'm going to ask you. Zero. Because I do not prepare. I don't like preparing. I like just being me and asking the questions that come to my head.
Spontaneity.
Well, but they come to my head because I'm being me and I think like me. And so the interview with this person is going to be different, like every conversation is with every different person, right? And so luckily I had James, the sexiest man alive. Luckily I had James as my co-anchor for, oh my God, how many years? 10? I don't know, a long time. And he is like my other half, truly. But he thinks differently, but yet the same. So we would be kind of both getting to the same next question without knowing it. And he would ask, I'd be like, I was just going to ask that. But he also has I would say, better way, but whatever. He's just very sciencey and he's more eloquent than I am. And so a lot of times with Jamesy, I would say he knows what I'm thinking about, right? And he knows how I think. And so a lot of times I'll have him explain to you what I think, and he'll explain it so much better, Mel. And I'll be like, that's what I'm thinking, what he said. I'm like, James, can you please, my partner's name is Scooter, and I will say something like, this is what I'm trying to explain, to Scoots about who I am. And James will spit it back to me in such a complete and elegant way, but it came from his mouth. And I'll say, can you just tell Scoot that? Like, James can say what I feel better than I can.
Your male alter ego.
He is. And, so what's it take to be a journalist is to be you, like you're doing, and to listen and to always tell the truth. That was a big one in my feelings about being an anchor or a reporter, is to be like, don't lie and be like if you hate whatever brand of water this is, you just don't like it. I mean, it's nothing personal or it's nothing against the brand. It's just like, this water tastes funny to me. And if they're a sponsor, well, then you're fucked. But that's their problem, not mine. Mine is just to be honest and curious and speak it like it is, right? That's all you can. And, like I would always say on TV, they would say, well, can you really say what you want? Do they tell you the questions or they give you the scripts? And I always said, and I meant it, you can say anything once, because then if you're fired, you're fired. But the fact is that you can say anything once because it's live TV.
Did your style change? I feel like it did when you dropped the suits.
My Nancy Reagan, Barbara Bush suit.
I saw a few clips. It looks so not you.
That was a big battle, actually.
Oh, was it?
Because that was
unconventional back then.
Thank God Michelle Obama started wearing sleeveless dresses.
Okay.
She's the first lady to dress the way she did.
Okay.
super fit, super cool, super confident. And dude, if she wants to wear a freaking sleeveless dress because she's got guns, let her. And nobody questions the first lady, but they question an anchor. So I remember it was around that time that I was like, well, if Michelle Obama can do it and it's fit for the president's, the first lady, and if Katie Couric can do it, so Katie started, so it was around Michelle and Katie,
Okay.
first name basis. We're friends. Michelle and Katie started wearing, they started wearing sleeveless. That was unheard of. We had to wear, and we did. It was men wear suits and women wear suits, and that's the way it is, as it was in regular workplaces, right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't come
No
to work
casual.
in a t-shirt. So men and women wore suits. So we always wore red, pink, blue suits, and everybody had to have a suit on. We just did. And then I started wanting to be more casual or more just what I felt comfortable in. Call it what you will. I like clothes that were more cut, more fitted. I just did.
More stylish.
Sorry.
period.
Style it, whatever you,
Feminine style.
my style. So Katie and Michelle were doing it. So I started doing it. And even wearing jeans on the bottom. I started wearing jeans and people were wearing, like, we're not in a vacuum on TV. We're still a normal place. Did you wear jeans on Fridays at work? I mean, people were wearing, and then Stu and I changed to sneakers. I was like, screw this. The guys are allowed to wear, sneakers as dress shoes, right? And I was like, screw this. I'm not wearing heels. My feet can't take it anymore. So I started wearing sneakers on air and they were showing my feet. And people are like, are you allowed to do that? And I'm like, F yeah, I'm allowed to do it because I'm a human, a person, and people wear sneakers. And they are dress sneakers. I felt they were nice sneakers. I didn't look like I just came from the gym. So anyway, that was a struggle though. I got a lot of pushback. Years and years, you can place the years better than I am, not into time. So I started getting pushback and they were like, people would email too. Viewers would email. Viewers would email and say, she's inappropriate.
Really? People took the time to criticize not your journalism style, but what you wore.
People mostly listen with the sound off. They don't fucking care. I mean, maybe they're reading the thing on the bottom. It's just maybe a line or two. They're listening with no sound.
How miserable you are if you took the time. Email.
Well, that's what I'm like, dude. You're in your sweatpants in Lafayette or wherever
naked,
you were.
Yeah.
And you're just
eating your cereal.
Eating your cereal and with your hair like this and you're going, oh my God, her hair looks like shit. What is that? And I'm like, you're wearing sweatpants all day. Give me a break, man. My eyes are puffy because I didn't sleep. Let me tell you, man, you're getting up at 3 a.m. I'm just happy to be here. So yes. So it was a struggle. It was a little bit of a push. There was pushback from the the powers that be in the station. There was pushback from viewers. And that was a time. You don't realize it now because everybody wears whatever the hell they want. I remember when I came back from India a few years ago, and I was so excited because I went to an Indian wedding and I had gotten the henna tattoos and it was fun and cool and and I showed up on the air. I don't know, you'll never see the air check, God knows. And I wore my tank dresses and I had
henna. Oh my God.
Well, I didn't realize. I thought this day and age, man, you can have piercings and crap. I don't know. People have tattoos that we put on TV. Maybe they're not the anchors. I don't know. I just felt like it was time. I felt like it was time to whatever, just be me. It was not time to be me. I got a call and it was like, what is on, whoever above me got the call. What is on her arms? What is that? What is happening right now? And then I got the relay from that boss saying, what is going on? What is on? And I'm like, then I got the come to the office. And I was like, oh shit, what? Come to the office. And he's like, you can't just show up with sleeves. That's called sleeves when you're totally tattooed. And you can't just suddenly show up with sleeves. Like, we get to approve your looks. Like, you can't come in with pink hair or a nose ring. Like, I guess maybe you have to ask. I don't know. I guess you probably have to ask. I think you have to ask. I don't Mel,
If
I got in
anything,
trouble.
If I'm a producer, if anything, it's gonna gain more traction for the viewers.
Here's the look. I loved it. It was not. They were not fans, and I had to wear long sleeves for 3 weeks until they faded. And not only did I have to wear long sleeves, but it was all down my hands. So I was like, James, what am I going to do? And he was like, why don't you do this? And I said, that looks kind of weird. What if I do this under the desk? So I had to keep the hands out too.
So the guys
took
will
3
have a
weeks.
tattoo. You cannot show it either.
I mean,
James will
Mel,
have a
to this day, I don't know. I talked to Raina about that too. I was like, dude, I don't know. I mean, what I said, what if you came in with, cause like Raina, has amazing hair. Do you know Raina? Raina's does traffic for us.
Yeah.
So it's Dar and James and John and Raina. And I remember Raina had, a certain look, and then she was kind of like, oh God, she got her hair done once for vacation, and she had like total like braids, and it just looked super cool. And she's like, can I do that? And I'm like, I don't know, just do it. I'm a fan of just do it. And if you'll hear about it later, I just believe that. I just believe it. Plus it's live TV, and you can't, like I said, I don't know the questions, let alone ad lib. I can't believe you ad lib that. Like, ask me first. I'm like, I can't freaking ask you what I'm going to ad lib because I haven't done the interview yet. And I don't know what James is going to do. What's going to come out of my mouth? I can't guarantee that. All I can tell you is it'll be true. So anyway, she came in with the braids. She looked amazing. So that was okay. And then she went away on vacation. She took her braids out one time, and she had this high look. And, her hair came up high, and it was curly, and it looked amazing. And I was like, Ray, that hair looks amazing. She's like, that's vacation hair, doesn't it? I'm like, it does. She freaking went on, and it just was. And so
It was okay.
I don't know, what I love about Ray.
You were the trailblazer.
Maybe Ray, no, man. Ray is fearless.
Okay.
And Ray is, my ray of sunshine. Ray is fearless, and Ray would, and she's so much younger than me, and I just had this thing with her, this spiritual connection with Ray, and also this like mom thing, because like she's younger than me, and I would always share where I just went on vacation, which were all these exotic places, because I'm getting into, I know when I got back from Africa, I went to South Africa, and I went on safari, and I did all this stuff, and I came back after traveling around the world. Always, I would scrape together every dime ever since my kids were, they started at 7 and 9, or 6 and 8. And I would scrape together every dime, and every year always take a major vacation, like to somewhere wild, like foreign. And so I continued doing that. And when I got back from South Africa and from seeing on safari the animal kingdom and everything else, I got back, and I traveled around the world, and I said to James and to Ray and to John, and I was just like, you guys, there's just nowhere I ever want to go ever in my life again. Like, it was just a weird feeling. And Raina will effing get her shit together, and she will travel like, and when I say she'll make a decision on a dime, I mean a cost dime and a time dime. And she'll be like, guess where I'm going in May? I'm like, what? She's like, yep, by myself or whatever. She's just out there. And John is just out there. Oh, see? And John is just out there. And James is just out there. And here they are. And here we are. And this is like, I went out with John. We had never been sailing before. And we did the San Francisco Bay. And then here's my safari picture. But wait, where's all of us hanging out? Oh, do I have, I don't have us hanging out, other than this picture, which is Ray with her fun hair, on our time off. And
great picture.
It's, yeah, I mean, this was, but I said I didn't really get to say goodbye. And you told me you were a viewer.
Yeah.
And what did you think when I just disappeared? Did you?
I was appalled.
See, and I didn't, and that's not fair. That's not fair.
That's a mistake, an error on the viewers. I mean, it's.
I don't think the parting was a mistake, or it's a gift for me in my next, right? This has been, I mean, what I wanted to do, about like transformational interviews and kind of like the messages I'm giving you that I wanted to give. Not the forum. That's not what news is about. And I get it. You know what I mean? What I'm sorry about is that I had to leave you as a viewer without the thank you that you deserve. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm sorry about. The way that I left didn't allow for me to leave you with the biggest thank you. Because everybody that ever took the time to listen to me, when I'm clearly not the smartest person, the most enlightened person, the most beautiful person, right? That all TV people are supposed to be, whatever, right? I just told you, I'm not Oprah. I'm not Diane Sawyer, right? And the people that said, oh no, we connect, we'll watch her, and let me into your home and thought of me fondly, you know what I mean? And also that I learned from, like everybody I ever interviewed or did a story about or got to watch the story, to leave without being able to thank you, that's, I'm sorry. I'm just so sorry.
Well, you shouldn't be sorry because we know it's not you, it's politics, it's executives who drive the news. We understand that. I think it's not fair to you, but I'm confident that's why I'm sitting here with you. I want to follow you to the next adventure.
Kind of, yes. And I don't have a platform for that right now, right? Because Kron wasn't the platform. I understand. It really wasn't. It wasn't going to work. And that's fine. It's been a gift. What my platform will be now, I mean, like I keep telling you, I've got Wake Up with Darya at YouTube. Wake Up with Darya at YouTube. Don't go there. There's nothing there yet. There's nothing there yet because honestly, I've been kind of finding myself so involved in being me and being here and now and being on my adventure that I kind of am assigning a little bit of time to it, but I only get one life too, right? You know what I mean? So like the fact that I'm lucky enough and fortunate enough to be in this place in my life with my partner, Scooter, right? And be able to live what we're doing together. Right? So, right? I mean, how do you to line up with that? So, yes, I've been a little busy, like doing that, but also part of us doing that is the other stuff, which is unfolding. And I am shooting kind of podcast stuff, but it hasn't happened yet, or it hasn't been. I don't see how you're doing. I'm like, wow, you've got an operation here. I can't do this yet, Mel.
Are you happy?
Oh my God.
Where you are. Are you content? Let's not happy is a loaded word. Are you content?
The secret to having
today
all is believing you already do. And I've always known that secret. The secret to having everything is believing you already do. And I have everything because I have love. I mean, I have love and relationships, and that's how what surrounds me. It's how I learn. It's how I grow. It's what I enjoy. I couldn't possibly be happier. You're talking to me yet.
What's your current state of mind?
What's my current state of mind? Could you be an assessor of that?
No.
No. It's self-reported like happiness.
I can't.
Is this I can't.
I can see that because your eyes are.
It's just
your eyes are. You twinkle.
It's just total. Contentment. Yes, peace, freedom, contentment, love. I can't. Even when things quote go wrong, Mel. James used to tease me. It was a couple of years ago. This transformation happened to me where I don't see problems anymore. Isn't that funny? I don't see problems nor obstacles. I just see opportunities. And so when you told me that this podcast is called The Brick Wall, and I said, why is it called The Brick Wall? Right after you got out, you know how you bang your head against a brick wall, I immediately went to, you mean you can either bang your head against the wall and expect things to change or get better, Or you can come to the realization that there is no wall. The wall is in your head.
It's true.
And that's where I am. There are no walls. And if you look, and if we sit in this room and you feel like walls are closing in and there's a ceiling and there's walls and maybe a door that won't open, then it's up to you to be able to see that your mind has created the ceiling, the walls, the window, and that you all you have to do is open the door. I don't believe they're locked. I believe that they can all be opened. Sometimes if we are unable to open them ourselves or even see that the door is there and that it can be opened, it takes other people who can give you the secret, like, the doors, they're not locked. Or I can help you find the key. Oh, you can? How did you find the key? And then you tell me, and I'm like, maybe that'll be my key. And so, yeah.
Any fears? There's the final questions that we have.
No.
Any regrets?
Regrets? Yeah, the chief regret is that I didn't know more then.
When were you happiest?
Are now.
Who or what makes you laugh?
Everything makes me laugh. You zoned in on the other secret. Freaking huge. Freaking huge. I mean, the worst things that happen to you, if they can make you laugh, and the sooner the better. Remember the old Seinfeld, too soon? It's never too soon. It is never too soon to laugh. And the sooner you can find that in real time, the better off you are.
The last question I ask all my guests: what do you find extraordinary in every day?
Every day. Every day.
That was Darya. Thank you, Darya, for joining us. It's a wrap.